Okay, we're solving trig equations. See the sign? We have our restriction, typical restriction 0 to 2 pi, right? But here's the deal. When I'm solving for this trig function with this angle, the sine of theta, it equals 0.86. Now they gave me the answer in a decimal. Got it. Which means they're going to want your answers in decimals. But you still have to go with the restriction that they've given you. So it has to be under 2 pi. Now here's what I do when they give me an answer that's in decimals. I personally rewrite the unit circle axes in decimals. So 0, pi over 2, when you make it into a decimal, is 1.57. Pi, as we all know, is 3.14. 3 pi over 2, 4.71. And then 2 pi, 6.28. So this gives me a better idea of what quadrants I'm going to be working in when I see the decimal format. All right, so I'm solving a trig equation. I have to make sure the trig function is by itself. Is it? Yes, it is. That's good. And now I need to solve for theta. So how do I get rid of the sine function? Yeah, you have got to move it over by taking the inverse, right? Okay, which means theta is going to equal sine inverse of 0.86, right? Okay, now that's a punch it in your calculator because it doesn't make any sense to draw a triangle because it's a decimal and the triangles don't have decimals on them. All right, so when you punch it in your calculator, first things first, you need to make sure your calculator is in radian mode because of that 2 pi. And then make sure you hit your second function above the sine button so you can get sine inverse. Now, I got my answer. I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. So I got theta was approximately 1.35. Yep. Did you get that? Good. Now, remember what we usually do next. After we find out what our, after we solve our equation, our theta that we found, don't we normally find our reference angles and then we decide on the quadrants? So here's the deal. I need to make certain that I first identify a reference angle. And you're like, well, how do you do that with a decimal? Well, my reference angle is supposed to be quadrant 1, and those angles lie between 0 and 1.57. This answer is between 0 and 1.57. So this answer is my reference angle. And now I just have to figure out the quadrants that I'm working with. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm talking about sine, and the answer here is positive. And sine refers to x or y, refers to the y's. So your y's are positive in quadrants 1 and quadrant 2. Got it. Well, in quadrant 1, that's easy because quadrant 1 is the reference angle of 1.35. And now you're like, well, how do I get quadrant 2? Okay, remember, the reference angle is 1.35. From your x-axis, because that's always where a reference angle works from, is the x-axis, I'm going into quadrant 2 by 1.35. And when I go in this clockwise direction or against the labeling, that's a negative direction, isn't it? So to find the quadrant 2 angle, I'm going to take 3.14 and minus the 1.35. Good? Okay, good. I'm glad that makes sense. So what did I get as an answer? I got 1.79. Did you get that? Cool. All right, does this make sense? It's still the same process, except now you have to go to the calculator to find the angle, and then you have to make sure it's actually a quadrant 1 angle because you still need the reference angle so you can figure out which quadrant you're in. Yes? Okay, got it. I have a couple of examples coming your way. Make sure you work on them before you go find my answer key video. Catch you guys on the flip side.